Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess, bringing you day 272 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be September 29th if you're starting at the new year. What are the characteristics of God's teachers? The surface traits of God's teachers are not all alike. They do not look alike to the body's eyes. They come from vastly different backgrounds. Their experiences of the world vary greatly, and their superficial personalities are quite distinct. Nor at the beginning stages of their functioning as teachers of God have they as yet acquired the deeper characteristics that will establish them as what they are. God gives special gifts to her teachers because they have a special role in her plan for atonement. Their specialness is, of course, only temporary, set in time as a means of leading out of time. These special gifts, born in the holy relationship toward which the teaching-learning situation is geared, becomes characteristic of all teachers of God who have advanced in their own learning. In this respect, they are all alike. All differences among the children of God are temporary. Nevertheless, in time, it can be said that the advanced teachers of God have the following characteristics. 1. Trust. This is the foundation on which their ability to fulfill their function rests. Perception is the result of learning. In fact, perception is learning, because cause and effect are never separated. The teachers of God have trust in the world because they have learned it is not governed by the laws the world made up. It is governed by a power that is in them but not of them. It is this power that keeps all things safe. It is through this power that the teachers of God look on a forgiven world. When this power has once been experienced, it is impossible to trust one's own petty strength again. Who would attempt to fly with the tiny wings of a sparrow when the mighty power of an eagle has been given her? And who would place her faith in the shabby offerings of the ego when the gifts of God are laid before her? What is it that induces them to make the shift? Our reading pauses there. The answer to that question will come in tomorrow's reading. I find it interesting to note that these traits of the teachers of God, it specifies they are the traits of the advanced teachers of God. The Course makes it clear that the moment we are able to see our interests as the same as even just one other part of the creation, in that moment we have begun our journey home. That moment may have come for each of us many lifetimes ago as our perception and time measures it. We may have already been on the path. That doesn't mean we're advanced. That doesn't mean we necessarily have these traits yet that are about to be listed in this lesson and in the following lessons. But in essence, anyone who has begun to see our shared interests, that another person is the same as us, has already begun and is already a teacher. We have rough edges. We have all sorts of things that we believe that are not true. We have so much to unlearn, but we have begun. So this manual is here to help guide us, help us understand the shape of things so that we can do the very best that we can be set up to more consistently choose the miracle instead of separation. And understanding these traits that it is our destiny to embody, to become, is helpful. Maybe we are starting to work on them already, but they give us a clear course to follow, a clear pathway of who we are becoming on our journey home as we more and more realize that there's no differences between us. And I love that we develop trust when we realize that the world we see that we thought was limited and full of scarcity is no such thing, that scarcity and limitation are illusions that the collective believes in, and because so many believe in it simultaneously, it's being strengthened and held in place, seemingly, by those beliefs. And the more people jiggle loose those beliefs and begin to disbelieve in what they thought was reality, the more people will break loose of the limitations. It allows for the opening, for the miracle to come in, because the miracle comes when we reach open-mindedness. And I've spoken of this many times. Open-mindedness is the last in the list of traits that are given here. And it's not like it's a comprehensive list, but I find it interesting that it does happen to be the last one of the ones that are given. It's in that state of open-mindedness where we admit we don't understand anything. We can't understand anything. And we give over the present moment to love and open ourselves to be directed. That's how we hook into the one mind that we're all shards of as separate selves. We are incomplete if we think we are this separate self. We experience ourselves as being cut off from love when we think we are this separate self. We can choose to experiment with trusting that the inherent nature of reality is benevolence towards us, and that the only reason we see anything but benevolence is because our unprocessed guilt pointed at ourselves, that is foundless and has no reason, in fact, causes us to feel that we deserve to be punished. And in fear of that punishment, we project it out away from us. We throw the stink bomb as far away as we can, and it just comes right back and lands at our feet with that little homing beacon that comes right back home. Because where can you throw something away when you are everything, when you are one? I lived in a third world country years ago, and there wasn't a garbage collection system, and there wasn't a proper sewer system. There were people building shelters wherever they could find a spare spot to build one. And you'd have people defecating into a plastic sack, tying it onto the end of the stick and flinging it as far from their home as they possibly could. Well, you can imagine what happens when everyone is doing that. It's not good. It's not a sane system. And while I don't currently live in a system that contains that particular set of apparent structures, it helps me to be grateful for septic systems and sewers and garbage collection systems, which seem to heal those problems in our current dream reality setup here. And it also brings to mind the inherent nature of the insanity of this world, that it's set up this way at all, and the other ways in which my default reality has a very similar type of insanity. It might not take the same form, but the insanity is still there, especially in the ways that a country that appears to be a first world country has basically pushed the cost of its living onto other nations. In essence, sending their pollutions there. In essence, having them kept in a sort of slavery in order to feed the abundance of the first world nation. Anyway, enough of my rambling. After we review what is the Christ, found in show notes, we go on to lesson 272. How can illusions satisfy God's child? Mother, the truth belongs to me. My home is set in heaven by your will and mine. Can dreams content me? Can illusions bring me happiness? What but your memory can satisfy your child? I will accept no less than you have given me. I am surrounded by your love, forever still, forever gentle, and forever safe. God's child must be as you created her. Today, we pass illusions by, and if we hear temptation call to us to stay and linger in a dream, we turn aside and ask ourselves if we, the children of God, could be content with dreams when heaven can be chosen just as easily as hell, and love will happily replace all fear. And that's our lesson for today. Happy practicing.